The good old LLMs. Gotta love them. Gotta love them.
I've been using it on eBay. You click the button and it just writes your description for you. And
how's that working out?
Sometimes it's really good. You know,
I know that you don't pay attention to our podcast portion of the thing, but full disclosure, I also just let AI write all of those because I'm too lazy to actually put in a description. And sometimes I read them and I feel like, boy, I should really edit this. And I don't.
Hey, watch it with Dan and Tony. Hey, watch it with Dan and Tony. It's Hey, watch it, yeah.
Welcome to Hey Watch It with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
Each week we convene to talk about a movie. This week we're talking about a movie that I picked, Six Underground.
Six Underground.
Michael Bay banger.
A Bay joint.
2019, 2 hours and 8 minutes. Was it really only 2 hours and 8 minutes? I thought it was longer than that.
No, because it came in shorter than The Rock, which I double checked at.
Oh, okay.
So it's below 2 hours 16 minutes,
and it not a lot of credits. So there's a lot here in this movie.
Well, here's the thing: is just the theme of today will be excess.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? in every facet that you can possibly think of, Bay was like, more. We need more.
Yeah, because we start off with some voiceover and some garbage, and then we get pretty quick into about a 18-minute car chase.
Yeah, it's right around the 20-minute mark. Yeah.
As it was going, I kept on clocking when we started a new music cue. Okay. And it probably had at least 6 or 7 new music
beautiful
cues. You know, some of them songs, some of them just, a rip off of some sort of rock riff.
Yeah, some nice guitars.
But this movie is beyond terrible.
Whoa. No, strong disagree. Well, what do you mean by terrible? Because it's not a good movie, but is it good entertainment? Almost.
I mean, I understand. You're gonna go. It's expensive. They do things. It
looks great.
Pretty big. It looks great. But when you really get down to it, they just like. You get whiplash from the decisions they make at times that are
not just the decisions, also just the camera work. Like there were multiple moments in the movie where I got physically dizzy, really? And that's never a good sign. I don't know, but here's what I'll say. Here's what I'm going to say. Big picture, Dan.
Give us your big picture, Tony.
Is there a story? Not really. Is there character development? Almost none. Is it fun? Yeah, it's pretty fun. You know what I mean? So it depends on if I went to the theaters and saw this, I'd be mad. I'll say that. Okay. I would not have enjoyed it in the theaters.
Really?
But I'm at home. It's straight to Netflix. I'm chilling on my couch. I'm like, I got a couple hours to kill. Let's see what this does. It entertains me for the most part. It's still not great. But I did not hate this movie. I have no ill will towards this movie. I wish somebody had said, "Hey, Mike, just calm down. Just chill out a little bit."
Or had looked at the entire script before they started shooting and said, maybe put something, I see you have this plot point that you're doing right here. Maybe presage that a little bit at the beginning of the movie so that when a thing happens, you go,
nope.
Oh, wow. No, okay, this movie pays off nothing. That's the point. No. I guess that's the thing I hated about this movie. It doesn't pay off anything.
I disagree, and let me tell you why. Act 1 pays off Act 1. Act 2 doesn't do anything. Act 3 sets up and pays off the plot of a film. I truly believe we have 3 movies here. Okay. Each act should be its own movie. Well, the first one is just 25 minutes in a car race. We don't know anybody. We don't know what's going on, but I'm having a good time. Act 2 is a team building movie that I do not need to see. I don't care. Just get me to Act 3 where there's actually some semblance of a plot and driving action.
So you didn't enjoy when we tried to do the original meetings of the team, and we tried to we set up a Rube Goldberg, if you move you get murdered machine for the most part.
I mean, what are you going to say, for no reason, Dan?
Yeah,
Come on, no please. I didn't need. Here's the thing: if their meeting is meaningful and impactful and will, lead to something in the third act, show me. That's fine. I'll deal with it. It's totally disjointed. None of their stories matter whatsoever to the movie. I don't even care for most of their stories, save for one. Why is it in the movie? Let's make this a tight 85, and then maybe I won't be throwing up by the end of it. Maybe I can make it through 85 of this, and I'll be fine.
I have to say this about it. Although I did not enjoy the chase scenes, I thought that they weren't good chase scenes, and they didn't pay off, and they weren't exciting to me because you didn't know the characters, and you couldn't follow along with so much.
Yeah. So here's what I'm not defending it. Specifically the opening car chase. I'm not defending it.
Sure.
Because I did enjoy bits and pieces of it, but as a whole, I don't know the geography. There's no tension for me because I don't know where you're going.
Nope.
I don't know where you're going, what you're doing, or who you're with. So I don't care about anything that's happening. If I go back into the film history of Mr. Michael Bay, he has some great car chases. Transformers has a great highway chase scene. The reason why it's great is because it comes 3/4 into the movie. I know the stakes. I know the people. And guess what? They're just driving down a highway. They're going straight. I know where they're going. I understand everything that's happening. We are in London? ? Is that where we are for this?
No, were we in Rome? We're in Italy.
I don't know. Not a good start, but I don't know. We are taking turns all over the place. I don't understand where we're going. I don't even know what they're driving to. Do you? A meeting point of some sort?
We're not. We have no idea. And no, they're not in Rome because they're on the coast.
Right. Yeah, we don't. This is what I'm saying. I think there was a Chiron at some point that told me where they were. I don't know. Yeah. That's not good.
Okay, well, we're going to start the movie now. Oh, yeah, that says Italy. I got Italy, so they were in Italy. Okay, we start.
All right.
The secret headquarters is basically the 6 undergrounds. There's 6 characters. There's Ryan Reynolds as the rich guy. We're just going to call him Ryan Reynolds because they have numbers, and the numbers are stupid.
Yeah, 1.
He's 1. Do you know the numbers of any of the others?
Yes. 4 is my acrobat guy.
He's the parkour guy.
Yeah, parkour. I think that's all I got. And then obviously 7. We know 7.
7, yes. So basically you have the main guy, Ryan Reynolds, who's the rich guy who finances all this, but he's also James Bond and has every skill known to man. So he has every skill.
He's Batman.
He's Batman.
He is to a T. This character is Batman in a real world setting, quote unquote.
But he's Batman with the sort of wacky comedy of Spider-Man.
Nice. Yeah, there you go. Well, Deadpool, because it's written by the guys who did Deadpool.
Was it this truly written by the guys that did Deadpool?
You didn't do any of your homework this time? The one time you don't do homework is this movie. I'm so disappointed. Yeah, this is written by the dynamic duo that wrote Deadpool.
Wow.
So it's here's what, again, as a big picture, I get this movie. I understand it. You've got the team behind Deadpool teaming up with Ryan Reynolds again. You've got Michael Bay, who, love him or hate him, he makes an action movie. You know, he knows how to do it.
Yeah.
As Netflix, I'm greenlighting the shit out of this movie.
Sure.
100%. Yeah, here's infinite amount of money. Go have fun, boys.
It seems like Michael Bay probably told them what the plot was, and then they wrote the movie around the plot, and then just were like, okay, here's where we can do all these jokes. And because the jokes are all straight up jokes, The problem with the jokes is that Ryan Reynolds' character should not be the one delivering the jokes.
Correct. Also, I also have you know what? I'll wait to pitch this until the end.
Okay.
I have a way to fix this entire movie.
Make Ryan Reynolds not the main guy?
Yeah. Damn it, Dan.
Wow, that was you broke the puzzle.
I wrote a whole plot synopsis, and I was so excited. I was like, I'm gonna blow Dan's mind today, and that you really took the wind out of my sails.
Sorry. So there's Ryan Reynolds, who is the rich guy, but also does everything. There's a doctor who does one
is
doctor
she 3?
thing. I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, never mind. I won't start asking.
We're not doing the numbers because the numbers are the dumbest thing
Forget
ever.
the numbers. Got it.
Because that's who we're gonna refer to them. She's the doctor. You have a hot blonde CIA lady who
Spook. That's what the thing says.
I'm gonna call her CIA lady. You have the hitman who's just
hitman.
European kind of whatever. You have parkour guy. Who is that? Tom Hardy's brother or something? His last name is Hardy.
Well, his name is Ben Hardy. I saw that in the credits, and I honestly don't know. I didn't care enough to look.
And
I can do it right now.
Is that everybody? There was one more person, right? Oh, then the driver, who was Dave Franco, who dies at the spoilers. He dies at the end of the first big chase, and so you're like, oh, the one person I know who I actually find funny and I enjoy, he's dead. So great.
So here's what I find interesting is I did kind of look at some people's reviews just to see, because people didn't love this movie as much as I enjoyed it. A lot of people complain because they're like, we don't even know the character before he dies, but that's why you hire somebody you know. You hire a named actor that we are familiar with, because you're going to kill him right away, and that will still affect me in some way. You may not care as much as you want to, because you're like, oh, he was important to the team. But I love Dave. I wanted Dave to be in the whole movie. I'm hurt. I'm disappointed. I'm hurt. Let's go get revenge, which we don't really do anyhow.
In Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock hired Janet Leigh to be the main woman, and he kills her 20 minutes in. Like kills her, and supposedly audiences got to that point and they just their brains melted. They were just not ready for because it was the whole thread of the movie. She was the driving plot, and then she's dead, and you're just like, what just happened? I don't know. Like talking about filmmaking. This movie,
and then to the extreme, Scream. Right? Drew Barrymore on all the posters. Everyone going into that movie thinks it's her. You kill her in 5 minutes, right? And it's beautiful. It's glorious. But the first time you see it, you're like, what the fuck just happened?
And that's
so obviously not as effective as either of those two things, but it is a device that we now use, like it or not. It's there.
So there's an airplane graveyard. Rich Ryan Reynolds. This is their secret headquarters. For what reason? No reason.
Well, it's a joke. There's a nice joke to it.
What's the joke to it?
You don't remember? They call it their haunted house because there's a ghost. I don't know why it's a plane. Sorry. Okay, I just meant Tony, the name of their...
See, I just set up that they have it in the middle of this abandoned place where there's all these broken down airplanes, and you're like, there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. Because it's called the haunted house. It's an airplane.
There's a joke to it. I meant they put a joke in it so that I don't think about those things. You see, it's a misdirect. It's like a magician where he's like giving you the left hand, but really he's doing some shit in his right hand. I don't need to pay attention to that because you give me a nice joke of it's our haunted house because they're all dead. Great joke. 10 out of 10.
Okay, so voiceover. What happens when you die? You become a ghost. He misses his friend from the orphanage, I guess. And he's like king of the magnets and made his money in magnets. And sold something to cell phones
I didn't understand any of it. Now, I didn't get it.
Now, if what's his name, Microsoft dude, if he killed himself,
Bill Gates,
and then he was walking around in the streets, people would be like, "Hey, there's Bill Gates," right?
Yes.
That's
problem number one.
If you're a billionaire and you look the same as when you were alive, you will get recognized on facial recognition instantaneously. period. Even if
it is the age of social media. And here they reinforce social media when he goes and does his war zone visit, and he's like, let's just take some pictures and I'll be carrying water and then I'm going to get out of here. So yeah, his face is everywhere. People would know. It would have been a pretty big deal if a billionaire died, I think, but I don't know, Dan.
Well, or more importantly, do the Batman, give him family money. And so then maybe you can say, he died when he was 21. And
yeah, he hadn't really come into the limelight
But if he's like a real guy that really invented something that was huge in the culture of media and tech, people are going to know who he is. So
I don't know. Problem number 2 that I need you to clarify for me is what happens to your money after you die?
It goes wherever you tell it to go.
Right, but so let's say he tells it to go to a ghost account, and then money's being siphoned out of there. Aren't people going to notice?
Well, you'd have to have a lawyer, and you'd have to have a trust, and it would go into the trust, and then you get access to it. I mean, yeah. Once again, you have to access it through some live body. So,
right, yeah.
So he has to have help. And that's
he needs to have an Alfred. He needs to have a Fox, right? He needs somebody on his side that knows that he's alive. That's like, I'm helping this superhero, right? I don't know. Anyhow, I don't care. I'm moving on.
So he supposedly dies flying a Red Bull stunt plane. Whatever. Okay, fine. Whatever. We're just gonna.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
we're just gonna let him have that. Whatever.
You're going to let him have that, even though he ejected, and I'm pretty sure those have trackers on them. It's fine. Question, because I genuinely don't remember. It shows his cockpit, right?
Yeah.
And there's definitely a picture of a woman.
Yeah.
Is there a picture of a boy?
You mean of like his friend from the orphanage?
His son.
Oh, no. The son is conceived during the movie.
Wait, all right. Well, you know what? Let's put a pin in that then, because I am confused.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm assuming the woman is the woman. Well, we'll talk about that because it's really stupid. So boom, boom. We're in the car chase. We're gonna have a nice 20-minute car chase. They're in Italy. They race around Italy. There's the doctor in the back. There's CIA lady in the back. CIA lady's been shot.
Yeah, just a little.
The driver's in the front.
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds next to him. At some point, we find out that they had gone to an office where this evil lawyer was to get access to his phone because there's information on his phone that they need. It's information that is never used in the movie.
Are you sure? I thought maybe it had something to do with locating the guy later. No? Okay.
It's supposed to have to do with the generals, these 4 mysterious generals.
Oh, the 4 generals. Okay.
But it's not, they don't, and then when they're driving, they have to access the phone as opposed to having access the phone in the thing. And the way they have to access the phone is an eye that they've carved out of the guy's face. And so there's like these wacky things where they're trying to get the eye and unlock the phone.
Because you're driving, so the eye's moving. It's hard. It's tough stuff, Dan.
But once again, we're about a third into the chase before we're manipulating the eye. So you're like, why are we doing that now? Why don't we do that after the thing is over?
Great. That's a great question, Dan, because that's less funny, and you lose out on some great gags like Ryan Reynolds dropping the eyeball underneath Dave's legs and yelling at him not to crush it and step on it, or him just dangling a bloody eye around, which I guess is funny. I seem to think that they think it's funny. I don't know.
I mean, if we understood this meant something, then okay, but we pull it out of the air in the middle of a chase. We're like, this is the thing happening, as opposed to setting up the whole thing. Whatever. Yeah. So basically, they're just driving. There's rock songs, and now we see the parkour guys on top of this big Italian dome, and he's all like, "I'm ready to go." Like, this is the place you're going to deploy one of your assets. And then he runs down and then takes out one car that doesn't even matter.
Is he the lookout?
No,
Is that
no. They deploy him
sure?
there. Yes, he does not do any looking. They're like, she's like, I put myself here because this is going to be a great place for me to parkour down from at a perfect moment. That is the perfect moment that I'm going to take out one single car.
Hey, listen, he's a human being taking out a car. Let's see you do that, Dan. You can't.
So then also the hitman guy, he's in another car, and then he picks up the parkour guy. And then we do a Spice Girls joke. At one point, the CIA woman gets out and uses a big gun to shoot a bunch of people. All during this car chase, hundreds of people are dying. They do not care and supposedly this group is set up to take care of big bad things and to help the world, and they are just making orphans everywhere they go, killing families. I guess at one point they save one baby, but for the most part, they could care less about any havoc that they wreak.
No, because here's the thing. At one point, they make a really nice joke where I think it's the blonde lady. She's like, it's the doctor. And she says, if you hit one more person, I'm jumping out. Like, because she's upset because they're killing a lot of innocent people. So they care, Dan. Don't tell me they don't care. She's almost ready to quit the mission because they killed so many people.
She doesn't quit the mission at the end, though. She stays with it.
Quit the mission, no. And they keep killing people. It's weird. It's a joke. I get it. Yeah. But you have to follow through on some. Dave doesn't suddenly become more conscious of his driving. They kill a bunch of more people and she never says anything again. If you're going to say that line, it has to have repercussions at some point.
There's no repercussions for anything that ever happens in this outside of the weird little plot that they've chosen for this thing.
Sure. Yeah.
So then they drive into the Uffizi Museum. The parkour guy gets on a skateboard and shoots bad guys. There's more rock music. And then they get
he does like a front board slide down some stair railing to shoot people. It felt very 1997, and I was here for it.
And then they pull into like this big concrete sort of parking structure-y sort of building where there's nothing, and somehow there's guys like out of vehicles with machine guns shooting at them.
Just waiting for him. Just waiting. You should have gone to just any other building in the entire city and you would have been fine.
And then they go into a slide and they hit a forklift and the forklift sticks right into Dave Franco and he's dead.
Yeah, he's gone.
Then they all just casually get into another truck and drive away.
Yeah, scot-free. Once they switch vehicles, nobody can catch up to them. Like they're just forgotten, totally forgotten.
Oh, they get in the truck of the hitman, I think.
Yeah. It's great. It's really good stuff. Really good stuff.
And
there's some jokes.
Yeah, there's some jokes. And about 3/4 of the way through the chase, I was like, "Oh yeah, I've watched this before." And I think I finished the chase and I was like, this is not a good movie. And I turned it off.
This is not for me. Thank you.
So, I have seen it. Like we did this with one other movie that I got a ways in and I was like, I've seen this before and I did not finish this movie because it's terrible.
So here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to say, right? This is kind of indicative of the whole. If you can get through this initial chase scene and not want to turn off the movie, you're going to like it. You're going to like the rest of the movie, I think, personally. But this is the Bay-iest Bay film of all time, right? They gave him carte blanche and he went for it. He had his R rating. So he kills and maims so many people, and they are brutal deaths. Like some of them I'm cheering because they're so fun, and some of them I'm like, oh, too far. And that's a great balance to have, I think. So I'm here for the deaths. I think they're great. They're very fun. The jokes are hit or miss for me, but there are real jokes in this movie that are totally separate of the film, which you can either like or hate. I totally get it. I'm fine. I'm entertained by them. And if you can handle the way that he directs a movie, which is crazy. And this is the craziest of them all. This is the most frenetic. I don't think he had a tripod for the whole movie. I really don't. I don't think there was a single locked off shot. Even shots that are like close up of me typing on a computer, he's like got sweeping movements, handheld. There's no reason for it, but they're there. And if you can stomach all of that, you're going to be fine. You're going to have a good time. You're going to have a good time.
In the middle of this, the thing at one point, they just have like a close up of the CIA woman's the side of her eye, and I'm just like, no,
why?
This does not add anything to the chase. It's nothing. This does not increase the intensity. It's like never once did I feel like, holy shit, this is fucked up. Bad. This bad is going to occur.
I agree with that. I do agree. I don't think this is. Did you see Ambulance? The movie he did after this?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Watch Ambulance. I personally think that movie is genuinely a good movie.
Okay.
And it's tense the whole time. And it's just basically a couple people driving in an ambulance for a whole 2-hour movie. Give or take. They get out every once in a while. Most of the movie is in an ambulance. It's a chase. And it is tight as hell. This movie is the opposite. There is no tension whatsoever, and I'm just kind of like, I'm here for the ride. You know, let's just see what crazy thing Michael Bay comes up with next.
It's kind of like looking for content in a roller coaster. You're not going to find content in a roller coaster. You're just going to be like, whoa!
But I'm still going to ride it.
And you're going to be like, oh, I wish I'd just eaten a corn dog and not done that.
Oh yeah, corn dogs are great. Not great. Coming up.
So now we're on a boat, and this movie also reiterates the whole premise of we're trying to do good things for the world, and we got to be secret, and we got to not care. So he does this whole no names thing, and they're like, he was a good man, and they bury him at sea, and you're like, okay, whatever. Now we meet the guy that's going to take over Dave Franco's place. I don't know who he is. We're going to call him the Sniper. Do you know the actor who played him?
Yeah, he's from Straight Outta Compton. His name, oh boy, now I feel bad. Corey Hawkins.
Felt like he was the best actor in the movie.
Oh yeah, because he's an actor. He's, you know what I mean? Like he's a good actor. He also got to do the 24 continuation that was cut short in my opinion because I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, wow.
Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, he's great. And the movie should have been about him. He should have been central thing.
I came up with that last night all by myself, and I was so proud of myself. And I agree 100%. He's the moral compass of the movie, and he's the emotional drive of the movie. Mm-hmm. How is the movie about Ryan Reynolds? It doesn't make any sense.
He gets the one scene in this movie that I was like 10 out of 10, and it's a great scene, and it's all because of him.
Yeah, no, I mean he's. The movie has to be about him. He's the guy joining the team late. Mm-hmm. We don't need any of those intros to the other team. The team is already established. I'm fine with that.
Well, the team, the chase should have been the team falling apart, and the final thing of Dave Franco getting killed should have just torn the team apart. And then you have the fucking asshole leader who's not a wisecracking, fun Ryan Reynolds who you want to hang out with.
No, he's Bruce Wayne. He's dark, he's brooding, and he's controlling a millionaire. Yeah.
He's the biggest prick in the world, and he's like, no, you're going to fucking keep doing this. And he gets this new guy to come in and do it. So new guy's at home about to commit suicide, and the reason why he's going to commit suicide is because he was on a mission and he saw a fake UN van, and he asked the bosses, can I shoot this fake van? And they were like, no, don't shoot that van. And then the van blew up and killed a bunch of people. Do we want to talk at all about how this movie makes it how all Middle Eastern people are either monsters or people who are ready to rebel against the monsters?
What is the word for? Is that xenophobia? Is that what that is?
Xenophobia is what? Islamophobia. It's just
okay. It's close-ish.
We got to this certain point where, initially all the bad guys were like Russians or Asians, Fu Manchu and all that. And then at a certain point where like all bad guys are terrorists or dictators. I really wanted them to go and kill like a corporate American guy as one of their missions to help the world. But of course that didn't happen.
No. So Michael Bay, very, America, you know what I mean?
Flag waving America.
Yeah, and which I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad trait. I'm just saying, maybe do something interesting.
And,
you know what I mean?
And I mean, you understand it's easy to make these dictators the bad guys because a lot of these dictator guys have done a lot of terrible things, but you can't make them a religious person. You can't make them go to kill the cleric that's in charge of the country. You have to make it this dictator, and then the dictator has these 4 generals. And so I was like, this is what the movie's going to be. We're going to have them kill these 4 generals and then kill the dictator. Well, nope. Spoilers, they're going to kill all 4 dictators at one time.
It just happens faster than you anticipated, Dan, because they were like, oh, wow, we just shot 9 flashbacks and the movie is already an hour and 30 minutes. We need to make this third act pop.
Yeah. So, but, just with the way the world is, to just continuously make these the only bad guys that exist on the planet. It's lazy. It's lazy, and it's just gonna.
It's lazy and problematic. But it's, to me, like the cardinal sin is it's lazy. Do something interesting. Give me a real bad guy. That's what I want.
Make him a munitions dealer. Make him something that you're like, okay, here's what he is. He's but their whole thing is they're going to kill his generals, then kill the dictator, and then they're going to put his they're going to kill the bald, stubble dictator, bald, overweight, stubble dictator, and then replace him with the good-looking, perfectly haired, perfect beard.
Are you saying brother. I should be offended by this movie because we're getting rid of the fat, bald guy? Tony, you sons of bitches.
Tony, Michael Bay wants to kill you.
Michael Bay's got a problem with me personally, and I'm coming after him.
Well, your beard's pretty good, so you're kind of you're.
Oh, thank you. It's a little long right now, dude.
You're like the really younger brother who gets in the way.
Because I'm in between. Yes. I got the baldness, but I got some nice facial hair. I'm not all trash, is what you're saying.
You're the clingy younger brother who causes all these problems because they're.
First of all, I think I could play the shit out of that role, Dan. Thank you.
You would actually be pretty good. So Ryan Reynolds goes to the sniper guy, and he's all like, "I'm the guy that's going to let you pull the trigger and take out the evil people." And then he's like, let's go on a boat and we'll fake your death. And then we'll do a funeral. And then we'll watch from a distance as your big funeral. That there's everyone you loved thinking that you're dead.
Can we talk for 1 second? There's 2 things we got to talk about. One, this faking his death, he just jumps into a lake, right? Or an ocean.
Jumps off a ferry, but they never found his body, so he's declared dead after X amount of time. I think if you fall, well, you'd have. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Ryan Reynolds probably pays the person.
Sure. He's the Coast Guard, billions of dollars, and they're like, "Hey, I know you," and he's like, "No, you don't. Here's an extra 100." But. It's dumb. It's really dumb. They should have thought something a little bit cooler. Now, have you ever seen the movie Tom and Huck, the Disney movie? They watch their own funeral from afar. I was just laughing the whole time. I don't know why. It's silly to me to have people watch their own funeral. And then they had that guy just screaming at the sky at the funeral. He's like, "Ah!" What's happening in this scene, Dan? I don't understand it.
Well, then the dude says, "That's my cousin Lenny. He's playing it for all he can." And so basically he says, "That's bullshit. He doesn't care." And you're just like,
pretty much, yeah.
Is your mom down there? You're gonna never talk to your mom again? Like what trauma? The amount of trauma you're inflicting on your family based on like Ryan Reynolds giving you a speech about how he's going to let you go shoot someone.
It's pretty wild. Yeah.
It's just like, it's just weird.
Yeah, it's pretty silly. You just have to get past it, you know?
Okay. You just gotta,
I think the thing that would be better.
Yeah.
Is if he found people that were already assumed dead. Like maybe he got caught, right? Maybe this sniper guy was caught and he's overseas in a POW, right?
Sure.
And Ryan Reynolds has to go break him out and he's like, no, you're going to stay dead, but you're going to fight for me. Something like that, you know?
But you got this really stupid scene where you're watching his family get traumatized, and then you're making a joke about how the one guy in your family is not getting traumatized, and he's just a giant asshole. You're like, and this is like your classic, how do we have our cake and eat it too? Well, we won't make it about the trauma. We'll make it about someone having fake trauma over your death.
Somebody hamming it up for the cameras. I don't know. It's really weird. It's very strange. But you just have to you just file it away under that doesn't make any sense. Let's get back to the action. That's how I watch these movies.
And there's a caveat of joining is you can never go to a city that you've been to before. Talk about that, Tony.
Well, the only thing I'm going to say is, doesn't he break that constantly?
Everybody breaks whatever. We're going to talk about that.
Listen, there are no rules, okay? The only rule...
there's one rule, Tony.
What's the one rule?
You can't have contact with your past. That's the one rule.
But then,
there's only one rule.
But then one guy does it.
And you can't go to cities that you've been to before.
Which they do all the time. I'm pretty sure.
It's like, so they got like this big map, and they're like, well, we can't do any more operations in Los Angeles.
Cities off, and they're like, well, there's a really bad guy here, but we already went there last year. We can't go back.
It's just like, why do you put this line in your... And it's like, it's a line that doesn't impact the movie, right?
Not even a little bit, because I'm pretty sure they do it a bunch, because he's already been to Turkestan, right? That's where he went to the opera, and he saw the dictator, right? So like he's already the whole movie is about him doing that.
We haven't got there yet, Tony.
I know we haven't gotten there. I'm just saying the whole movie is about him. Whatever, Dan. I'm upset with you.
And the name of the bad country is Turkestan. Turkestan. And at first I was like, Turkestan, that's a real place. And then you're like, no, it's Turkestan. And you're just like, oh, come on. It's named after a turd.
Is it a real place?
No, it is not a real place.
Netflix action movie.
Yeah. Okay, so he
dictator in fake country, seemingly inspired by Turkmenistan.
Turkmenistan. There you go. Not Turkestan. Turkmenistan. Great. So, boom, we go to the secret jet clubhouse, which I think he refers to as his Batcave. This is what he says: you can't have any friends, and you can't go to cities you've been to before. Okay. And then here's the 9 people we're going to kill. There's all these pictures, but they're hidden behind pieces of paper. And he pulls off the first one. He's like the dictator of Turkestan.
Yeah, it's for dramatic effect, Dan. I'm surprised it's not a drum roll, you know? Tear it off. Number 1.
And then where do they go to talk about their mission, Tony?
It seems like a coffee house. I don't know.
A diner. They go to a diner.
A diner? Okay, yeah. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good. I mean, if you want to be covert, you leave your secret headquarters and you go grab a bite to eat. Everybody knows that, Dan.
So we learned that Ryan's the master of magnets. They talk about freedom of death and no responsibility. And then we talk about the 4 generals we got to kill. And
I have a quick question, Dan. They do a whole speech here about what's good about being dead. And 4, our parkour guy.
Yeah.
He's like, no more getting arrested by the pigs for being naked or, normal stuff like being naked, which was funny. It was a funny line.
It's a joke.
But you can still get arrested.
Sure.
I don't understand because they posit that now that they're dead, they can't get arrested. But that's not how that works. Nope. You can still get. In fact, if you get arrested, you're in big trouble because you were supposed to be dead.
Yep.
So you need to even be more careful about not getting arrested because if the law catches you, it ruins everything.
Well, they have fake passports and stuff, so they have tons of fake identities. But I guess you can't make friends while
they
you're
have
fake
facial
ID.
recognition, right? That's still a thing in 2023 because it's a modern movie.
Well, you're not going to England then, that's for sure. Because they have it
Your CTV cameras.
everywhere in England.
Good
Okay,
stuff.
so now we set up this thing of secret hospitals. So they go to the secret hospital for no reason that I can think of, and then the dictator bombs the secret hospital while they're there. Then Ryan Reynolds shouts, "Get the masks!" And somehow they've brought gas masks and they give them to people and they pass them out, and there's sad
this is a flashback, right?
No, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure this is the flashback to why Ryan Reynolds is doing this.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought that was part of
because he's there on a photo op. This is the photo op one where he's he's visiting as a billionaire, taking pictures with the people pretending he's helping. And they have the gas mask because they're under threat of gas, because that's what the guy does, is he does gas attacks. So then they're just like prepared or something.
I missed all
I'm pretty sure.
I think you're absolutely right. I missed all that.
I'm pretty sure. It's fine because it doesn't make the movie better, because now it's like a personal vendetta as opposed to him trying to do the right thing. I don't know.
So he is mad at he's mad at this particular
just one guy. Yep, just this one guy he's pretty mad at. Yeah, I don't know.
That changes things a lot. Okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the evil general. I mean, the evil dictator, and he's looking at a picture of Napoleon. And then it turns out that he shot videos of his gas attacks, and then he puts them online to just rile everybody up, to show everybody that he's bad.
He's the boss. He's the boss.
So then we cut back to Ryan Reynolds' past. He goes to a theater. The dictator's there. Then he meets the dictator in the theater bar, and then raps with him about how you're going down in the fifth act. And then the dictator's like, the bad guys always win. Bad guys always win. And then there's like a super hot bartender lady. And then he goes and has...
Who I originally thought for a while was the doctor of the group. Yeah. Guess what? Two separate people, it turns out. Two separate
people. This girl...
did not know that.
The doctor, very attractive. This woman, super hot. So that's how you know the difference. This one, she's super hot.
You got a 10 and a 12. But
exactly.
Yeah, it was confusing for me. I didn't get it.
So he goes and they have a 20-second sex scene. 20-second sex scene.
And this is, I want to push pause real quick, Dan. Yeah. Not for too long, but I want to talk about Michael Bay for just a hot minute. Yeah. Because, we've talked about, he's frenetic. Yeah. He's big. He loves to sweep. He loves handheld. He likes, the pans, the zooms. Like, he moves his camera. But the thing he's very good at is making his movies sexy. And not just with sex, but like the cars are sexy, the planes are sexy, objects are sexy, people are sexy. He's very good at that. And even though there is very little that happens in this scene, I was like, okay, you did it. You're good, Michael Bay. And what I think some people maybe forget is that Michael Bay comes from the music video business.
Sure.
And so his directing style sometimes just feels like a long music. Like, it's fast. He's cutting. Things don't necessarily make sense, but it's visual. It's stunning. And you're just like, what is happening? That's a music video, right? Put some songs to it. You got a music video. And I went back and I watched a couple of his early music videos. I went and watched some Meatloaf, which was great. Meatloaf, Paradise by the Dashboard Lights, whatever that song is. I can't remember right now. He does a video for that. It opens up a choppers going up into the sky, and we're cutting. There's motorcycles. I was like, this is it's Bay. Bay has always been Bay, and you got to respect it. And I thought this was a nice scene, and I was like, I get it, Mike.
Yeah, 20. And this was like where you could see what I would call the death of the sex scene. Where you might have thought it was sexy, but it was sexy for literally 20 seconds.
Yeah,
because
it's quick.
Because you can't have sex scenes anymore.
We don't like them, Dan. All right?
The world doesn't.
We don't enjoy them.
The American
which
audience,
is why I think this is good. Because I agree with you. If this was a movie that
he can hint at the sexy here,
exactly,
sexy, it could have been really sexy, but I didn't make it.
But other people do these sex scenes that cut off too soon, in my opinion. But they cut them off, and you don't feel like you're like, okay, we're going somewhere sexy, and then they stop. The way he shoots, the way he directs, like, it's sexy. I'm feeling the tension. I'm ready to go. They're both beautiful people. And then, you cut away, and I was like, oh boy, I wish I would have watched that. I just think he's better at it than other people. That's all I'm saying.
So after the sex, they talk about evil. And he talks about...
Are you saying that that's not what you do, Dan?
Every
time I wake up the next morning, that's what's on my mind.
I'm like, what evil will I do today? That's what I say.
You're a dark, dark man.
So he's like, oh, that dictator, he's going to get his. And then...
This guy's going down.
You're like, so he's into her? I don't understand. And then she just like, she's like, this last time you'll find me here. I'm moving to New York City. And he's all like... Maybe I'll see you there someday.
Well, no, what he says is, I live in New York, so I will see you.
But he won't, because he can't go back there.
No. See, Dan, this is a flashback.
No, okay.
He hasn't done his Daredevil jump yet.
So you're asking where that kid comes from. That's where the kid comes from. He put a baby in her.
Right. So my thing is...
So this was 4 years ago.
Does he have the kid's picture in the plane at the beginning?
No, he can't, because he just put the... Because he finds out about the kid at the end of the movie.
So, okay, so that's I didn't know if he knew or he didn't. I was very confused by the end of this film.
Yeah.
If I'm just being honest, very confused.
No,
because he has her picture in the plane, so he has seen her since this moment.
No, he's doing it for her. He's thinking about her.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's never seen her again.
I won't pretend to understand billionaires.
Well,
okay.
When we run into Michael Bay, we'll ask him that question. That's a good point. Good question, Tony. Good question.
Let's get him on the pod.
Okay. So, yes. So, yeah. The Uzbekistan, we learned how the CIA woman joined. She joined because she was there when they gave the brother to the dictator. So that's why she joined. Okay.
Do we need that information, Dan? Does it say anything about her character at all?
No, it's worthless.
Okay.
Boom. All the generals go to vacation together, and they all like having sex with prostitutes together in the same room. I'm sorry. If I'm a general, I'm getting my own private room, my own private prostitute, or 2 private prostitutes. I'm not sharing prostitutes with everyone else. Just saying.
Here's my question. What do they do exactly as the 4 generals?
They're the generals.
No, I know their titles.
Generals.
I'm saying what is their job?
They command troops.
So similar to how we'd run like a UN event or something like that, where we don't have everyone in power in the same room. If you have 4 generals that you need, would you ever really want them all in the same room?
Well, it takes 4 generals to buy sarin gas, and they're there to buy sarin gas. So you have to have all 4 there, because the one might like keep the money, and the other one has to watch him, make sure he.
So they're okay. So he's checking on him, and he's checking on him, and he's checking on him, and there's a nice little.
The truth is,
I see.
The truth is, you only
need 3 generals.
It's the fart triangle, right?
Yeah.
That's how you figure out who smelt it, who dealt it, right? We did this in another one of the things, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But so they have 4,
I guess, what does the 4th guy do? I guess the 4th guy's the snitch.
Oh, the 4th guy's on the phone to the dictator.
They just give him a play-by-play. He's like, okay, well, Jonovich did good job.
Here's what's happening. We're all bald and fat, and now we're all naked.
Thank you for prostitutes. We like you very much.
So the hitman and the CIA agent go there and just kill them all, and then they have sex, and
which is pretty weird, right?
We did not have any idea that this was coming, and it feels like this is the first time that the hitman is now completely in love with the CIA agent, but she's like, no kissing, no kissing. Like she's set up these rules before, but he's acting like we haven't heard these rules before, and then
which is confusing as an audience member because we don't know which character to believe.
And they seem to be having sex in the murder room, but maybe they're not.
They definitely are.
Oh, they
are for sure. They're definitely doing it at the murder scene.
Now, Tony, you said your 4 biggest generals to go have sex with prostitutes in Vegas.
Yeah, that's a given.
Don't you send some security with them?
Yeah.
You don't have you don't have them like while they're nude having sex with prostitutes answer the door. Who is it?
You wouldn't normally want them to have to do that, but maybe they are ashamed. You know what I mean? Maybe the 4 generals are like, we can't have security guards knowing what we do. So we need to keep it separate. We want to have a private room. Yeah, you don't know. People have their own proclivities, Dan.
Isn't the whole fun of going to kill someone is that you have to get to them? It's the whole fun of killing someone in a hotel is not just putting a gun up to a door and shooting them through the door and it's done, right?
You mean for a movie or as the killer?
For a movie.
For a movie, yes, I agree. As the killer, this is much easier. You know what I mean? Like, it would be great if there's no security and I can just pop one right at the door. That's awesome.
Did you ever feel like these characters were challenged by what they were having to do?
Yeah, one time.
There it is.
Number 4. Number 4 has a couple of challenges.
Oh, that's true.
Turns out he's not very good at his job. So maybe get him off the team.
And after sex, the CIA has to explain what a coup d'etat is to the dumb hitman because he's really dumb.
But so here's all right. Not that it really matters. He doesn't seem to know what a coup d'etat is, and he's like, "What is it? What is it? I don't know." But then at the end, he knows that it's spelt coup because he makes a joke and says coup. If you have never seen the words coup d'etat, would you know that it's spelt with a P? And I understand that this is getting nitpicky. I get that.
Well, I mean,
but it bothered me.
If you're well versed in like the French language, sure.
But he doesn't know what it means. He knows what it means, but it's not how it's spelled. I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Okay, Tony, you're going to talk about the next scene where the hitman goes to visit his mom who has Alzheimer's.
I'm so sick of this shit. Listen, Alzheimer's is an easy way to get sympathy for a character that doesn't deserve it.
Sure.
Right? And he's basically like, forgive me, I'm doing good things that wipe out all the bad things I did. And then Alzheimer's lady's like, I don't like this one son because he's a bad guy. He's like, but that's me, Ma. That's me. I don't care. I don't care about any of this. I in the next scene, Ryan Reynolds pulls a gun on him. He's like, hey, no just shoot him. Just shoot him. He's a liability. Shoot him in the head.
So he goes and visits a person, which is the one rule. Ryan Reynolds is in his car and is there and puts a gun at his head and says, there's only one rule and you broke that rule. And then what's the repercussions of him breaking the rule?
You just said it. He yells at him. And then he leaves. Then he's like, but anyhow, have a good one, bud.
And did we ever explore the tensions of him pulling a gun?
Well, for sure not, because pretty soon Ryan Reynolds has a change of heart and decides that you can love everyone. So I don't know.
Now, Tony, how would you feel if you went to work and your boss put a gun to your head?
So far, so good.
And yelled at you.
He yelled at me?
Yes.
I'm upset. With a gun, fine.
Would you ever trust that person again?
Well, for sure not. No, because he has no problem almost killing me, but then he doesn't kill me. So maybe I would. Who knows? Maybe I just, maybe this is how we joke around with each other.
It was interesting. I'm going to talk about something I've talked about many times on here. The one time I was on a jury. And as we sat there on the jury and the person who we were judging, even though I didn't judge, I was an alternate, lied to our faces.
Yeah.
When you have someone lying to your face, you're done. You're done with that person. You you would never trust them. You would want nothing to do with them. And if he'd also put a gun to my head,
Yeah.
if someone put a gun to your head, you were going to have a very particular opinion about them.
And it won't be positive.
It won't be positive.
That's
okay. So then we do the hitman's origin story. He went to kill a guy, and the guy had a daughter, and so then he felt bad, and so now he does it more and randomly in the street.
For the right reasons? Question mark.
Okay.
But which is confusing because he also, when he's talking to his mom, he's like, they were always bad men, Ma. It's fine that I killed them. So then this turn doesn't actually make any sense then.
No. Nothing makes any sense with these characters.
Great. Again, totally unnecessary backstory that could just be taken right out of the movie.
We have that scene in Kill Bill where she's killing a thing and then the other assassin shows up and then she takes the pregnancy test. And it's a very, have you ever seen Kill Bill?
I saw Kill Bill one time. I don't like Tarantino. I'm probably going to get a little hate. I'm not a fan.
I have problems with some of the movies, but Kill Bill, didn't care for it the first time. Rewatched it a couple times. It gets better. That one actually gets better, in my opinion. But
you know what probably also gets better? Six Underground.
No, Six Underground would never get better. So the dictator has his generals. Then he's like, "Oh, who are the next 4 generals?" And they march up, and then he's like, "Oh, now we're going to push you off a building." And they pushes the 4 generals off the building, and then he picks the next 4 generals to be his generals because that's what you do because you got to prove.
Because it turns out that general is just kind of a name. It's just kind of a position. It doesn't really matter. You don't need any qualifications. It's fine. Anybody can be the general.
We do the origin of the parkour guy. He was stealing some jewels, and then Ryan Reynolds catches him and then puts him in a chair with a gun to his head and says, "What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of?" And he's like, "I'm afraid of anything. Just kill me." And then the kill thing doesn't happen. And then Ryan Reynolds laughs at him. And so now he wants to work with him.
Right. Which is similar to the other one where he points a gun and you don't think they should work together. Why would you work for a guy that does this? Now, here's what I will say is that to me, this is seen as out of character for Ryan Reynolds because he doesn't do this sort of thing with anybody else.
I don't
even.
This is the most baffling scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Now, did I laugh? Yes, I laughed. But I only laughed because of the way Ryan Reynolds is laughing. It was like a hyena. It made me laugh. What are you going to do? Sometimes things make me laugh, Dan. But it doesn't make any sense. Well, he's not scaring him straight. He's not. I don't know. I don't know what this is for. I have no idea.
The stupid hitman, I understand. You cause trauma to somebody. Now you want to change what you're doing. The CIA lady, she made a mistake, made the world worse. Okay. The doctor, we don't ever see how the doctor joins them.
Oh my God, we don't, do we?
No, of course we don't. Why would we see that? The doctor is the most, it's the character we don't understand anything about.
Yeah.
She's
especially because she doesn't really do a lot of doctoring. She does doctoring in the opening car chase. And does she doctor the rest of the movie?
Nope, never again.
Huh. Okay. Maybe she shouldn't be on the team. Maybe this should be 5 Underground.
But the name of the song is 6 Underground. Mm.
Oh, wait, there's a song that came first?
It's a Sneaker Pimps song. Yeah.
And that's a real band? Okay.
Maybe you weren't into them because you were too listening to your power pop.
No, punk.
Now my question to you, Tony, is do you like Machine Gun Kelly?
Oh, people are gonna Dan, I can't answer that in public.
What does that mean?
I do.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I do feel like I need to defend it a little bit. Shannon.
Tony likes Machine Gun Kelly.
Hold on. Don't blanket statement. Hold on. There's caveats. There are caveats to this. Okay, let's go through the timeline. All right. As a white rapper, I didn't like him.
Tony loves Machine Gun Kelly.
No, hold on. Hey, don't embellish.
Oh, she's so disappointed in you.
hold on.
She just
Tickets
walked
to
away.
My Downfall is a perfect pop punk album. It came at the perfect time because pop punk was dying, and he revitalized it and brought it to the mainstream. So I have to respect him for that. Okay. His second album was no good. Which was a bummer, and now I think he's going back to rap anyhow, so it's fine. Also, another reason he is or was dating Megan Fox, you can't not respect that.
What's happening?
Oh boy, now you broke everything, Dan? I'll just keep talking about MGK. Now, a lot of people in the pop punk community don't respect him because it's so sugary and he's kind of selling out, right? Who cares? He's bringing it back to the mainstream. He won awards. People that have never listened to pop punk were listening to pop punk because of him. So get off your high horse, all right? It's an inclusive group, this pop punk. We want more. It's all about fun.
Oh my God.
Anyhow, are you done yet, Dan? What's going on?
My thing gave me an alert that it was having trouble.
I feel like I'm already canceled, so maybe you need to take over.
Back up on my audio. Oof. Okay, they fly to Hong Kong. Yep. We do a whole scene with the brothers in a place in Hong Kong, and no, we don't fly to Hong Kong. We see it. We go to Hong Kong, and we see that the brother is at the top of this penthouse. That's in Hong Kong. That's where they're going to have to rescue him. Yeah. So where do our guys go? They go to the Mongolian desert. And then talk about the world being wrapped in red tape, and now the CIA and the hitmen are all over each other, and everyone's like, "That's different." So now we're like,
"That's different."
So now, why we're in the Mongolian desert for that, no one knows. They did one joke where this random guy was sitting with them. That was funny.
Yeah. What was it? Randall?
Randall.
Was that his name?
That was funny.
Raymond. His name was Raymond. I wrote it down because I thought that was they're just like talking about their plan, and then it cuts to Ryan Reynolds is like, "Who's this little honey badger?"
Yeah,
it's a great scene. Good old Raymond, sweet Raymond. I love that guy. He should be in the movie more.
It would have been a better movie. We do some voiceover. Here's the plan. It's a snatch and grab, and then we don't really hear the plan. Then we just start with the plan. And so,
well, because they do a whole 4-minute bit about the word snatch. I don't even know what this was. Like, some jokes land, some jokes really didn't. And this was one of the ones where I was just like, let's go, guys. Let's wrap this up.
Did not write it down.
Okay.
Did not.
Well, that's fine.
Why is my Finder bouncing? Oh, God. Now my disk is full. God. iCloud Drive will not work properly. Oh, God.
Oh my God, Dan! We're not even going to get to post this podcast. It's going to fall apart.
Oh my God, what is happening? My thing is very full, but I have 17.4 megabytes.
Well, that's not very many.
Embedded frameworks. What is happening? Everything's going crazy. Shit. Now my mailbox cannot save information. I quit my mailbox.
Okay, boomer.
Let me turn this off. Why is Final Draft on? Tony, tell me why Final Draft is on.
Final Draft is on. What are you writing over there? Are you writing Machine Gun Kelly's new smash hit?
I think I opened a file.
Oh my God.
What is happening?
So Mainstream Sellout, not a great album, so it was a big letdown for me, but there are a couple of bangers still on it. But in general, it kind of proved that he was kind of not a one hit, because the whole album's great. Tickets to My Downfall, great, top to bottom, in my opinion. But I don't think he can continue that success, unfortunately. So it's going to be tough uphill battle.
We're talking about how they save the guy. They start by laughing gassing everybody in the building. Somehow and then the CIA and hitman go up in the elevator, but the hitman has gotten
a leak or something
because he had stuff painted on his mask by a dentist or something, and so he's worthless and he can't do things because laughing gas. Even though I've had laughing gas one time and it does nothing. So I don't know how laughing gas is incapacitating all of these people. It's very weird.
I don't know. I feel like I've done low doses at like the dentist, right? Is that what they give you?
And nothing, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't impair you. It just doesn't make you feel.
Well, maybe you didn't have enough.
Yeah.
This is what we should do. We should take a weekend. We'll rent a cabin. You and I can just hit the nitrous for a good 45 minutes, see how it works out.
So
is that how any of that works?
Whatever. The parkour guy runs over there. He hides in the pool. They have to shoot a hole in the pool so he can breathe through the hole. I don't think that would work.
I don't think it would work either, to be honest with you. But that's fine.
Lots of shooting. They finally get the guy. At one point, the hitman tries to beat him up to knock him out to escape.
The guy they were saving.
Yeah.
Yes.
They shoot the pool. The pool explodes and washes a bunch of guys out.
Now, am I losing it, or was there way more water that came down that could possibly have ever been in that pool?
It's a lot of water.
It was so much water, Dan. It was like an entire lake.
And at one point, they also say, At one point, they say, "There's way more guys here than we accounted for. Like, where are they all coming from?" Never answer that. Never.
No, because in the end, it doesn't matter.
Like, why?
Because they're there.
Why would you say that line? But why would you? You're setting up that these people have to be accounted for at some later point.
There needs to be some sort of resolution.
You just say, "Holy shit, our estimates were way the fuck off."
There you go. Yeah.
You just change that line like one little bit.
Don't tell me you're going to investigate where they came from if you're not going to investigate it.
You're not going to answer your question. So in the end, the parkour guy runs away, and then 100 of the bad guys somehow follow. The parkour guy does things that only a parkour guy can do. If I was chasing a parkour guy, I would follow him for 10 feet. And then he'd be on top of a building running across a 1-inch beam of balsa wood. And I'd be like, that won't hold my fat ass.
Platform to platform, and Dan's just on the back to be like, okay, I stopped. You don't have to run anymore. I stopped.
So somehow the bad guys keep catching up to him. And then eventually the super big bad guy, the beefiest, weirdest bad, Arnold Schwarzenegger has flown down there on magical god wings and is beating him to death.
There's no way he could have followed what parkour did.
No,
it's just not possible. That body frame cannot do the things that parkour just did.
And then they're in the car and they're like, Ryan Reynolds is like, keep driving. We're leaving parkour behind. And then the sniper guy's like, go fuck yourself. Puts a gun to Ryan Reynolds' head, and it's like, fucking stop the car. And he gets out, and he's like, I'm going to fucking make this shot. And it was like such a great emotional moment where you're like, well, this is what the movie is about. The movie is about a fractured group of people who finally come together in this one thing and then operate as an incredible team to pull off the last thing.
Yeah, that's what it should have been about. Yeah. And it's a little in there. A little
bit of that in there. Somebody wrote this scene, and they were like, "Here's your scene," and then they handed it to Michael Bay. He's like, "No, I don't think we're going to do that.
I don't think so. I don't think this isn't good for the whole movie. Just right here is fine, but let's try to leave all these emotions behind here."
And so he makes the shot, and it's the only good moment in the entire movie.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll allow it. I'll allow that.
So we get this one scene with the dictator where the dictator has hundreds of pictures of everybody in the crew, and it's all like, the woman's like, none of these people show up on social media somehow or something. But no, that's not what she says. It's 1,000 times worse. She says, all these people have been reported as dead.
Yeah.
So she's figured out that they've faked their deaths, right?
Yeah.
Tony, if you fake your death and I find out who you are, can I go and kill your family?
I would prefer you didn't. Because I went through a lot of trouble to fake my death and to not let them know I was still alive. It would just be really rude, Dan.
Would you stop? Would you stop coming after a dictator that calls you on the phone or contacts you, or you find out that your family's being killed off? Because the hitman has a mother, right? And he could have easily gone and snatched her.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, if he called me and he was like, "Hey, bro, I found out who you are. Here's their addresses. I got people outside." I mean, like, fair play, dude. All good. Wish wash. We'll see you next month. You know, at some sort of potluck that we'll have to mend these fences. My bad.
It's just so dumb. It's like it's so dumb. Yeah. Don't do this. Whatever.
Don't do this.
And then all the people now give their names, so now we know their names, and everybody's a family, and we're all going to get along. But Ryan Reynolds, like, he's resisting, but not resisting. I don't know. Where's he at?
You know, because he's, you know, his walls are breaking down. You know what I mean? Slowly but surely.
So, boom. There might be something between the doctor and the parkour guy. I don't know. They send the doctor and parkour to sabotage the TV station. But
yeah, there's definitely something between them, because at the end of the movie, they're rock climbing together and they're like, "I love you," just with their eyes.
There it is. They're in love for unknowable reason.
Pretty much everyone's in love. So I guess what would happen in the sequel is that 1 and 7 would get it on. That's a good looking couple.
Now we go to the power station where 1 and 7 have to talk their way into the power station for some reason. And also there's no way that what they did would have worked because it was awful. One of the worst scenes in the movie. Just like
nope, it's real bad.
You do not send 7 in there. I mean, that dude could not do because that demanded this scene sort of demanded the wacky humor, and then he was like, I can't do wacky humor, and I can't really act like I'm. He's like acting like he's trying to do wacky humor, and that's when things very much fall apart.
Yeah, no, he's like a real dramatic actor, like very talented guy. Just, you know, leave him on the outside.
Now we have a yacht. So there's a super yacht. And whenever the dictator's having trouble, they take him from his secure compound and take him to this yacht because there's a panic room on the yacht. But there's a party going on the yacht right now.
For sure, yeah.
Why is there a party on the dictator's yacht when he's not there?
Because he's rich, and so people use his boat for parties, Dan. I don't know. I got nothing.
So they put the brother on TV, and he's all like, "I'm here to teach. Time for revolution." And everybody in the country goes, "Hey, he's on TV. Time for the revolution." Then they all
let's do it.
The whole country is
just
revolution.
Loses their minds. Just starts throwing things out their windows. I don't know, man.
And one of the things, I don't know a lot about politics, but a lot of Middle Eastern countries are divided among ethnic lines, right? And then you have one ethnic line that's kind of in charge, and then you have one ethnic line that's not in charge. And usually when you talk to the whole of the people, half of them are going to say, "Go fuck yourself. I'm sticking with my..." Half of these people, you know, for whatever you want to say, when there's a dictator in charge, it's not usually that easy. Where the whole country...
Well, luckily in Turkestan, it is. So it's fine.
Turkestan...
Don't worry about it.
Oh, God, I have to open storage management again.
Oh, for crying out loud.
We're so doomed, Tony. That's right.
Yeah, this will never work. That's a given. There's a great moment. I'm just going to talk about one of my favorite jokes of the movie. So it's back when they're escaping on the zip line, and the hitman is beating up the brother that they're trying to save for the second time. And Ryan Reynolds comes over and he goes, "Do you have rabies? The fuck's the matter with you?" It's a good joke. I really liked it. I thought it was really funny, you know, to talk about his aggression.
Good joke. Yeah, it's a good one. I loved that one.
That's about all I got. Yeah.
I never get tired of that one. Okay, so boom. So the whole thing changes. They push a button and all the statues of the dictator blow up. Okay, that's good.
I guess so, yeah. We didn't see them plant any explosives, but it's fine.
Didn't see that. Then the cars drive there. The hitman gets in his car to try and join the group for a reason that we don't know, to do something we don't know.
I don't totally get it. Yeah.
Basically, everybody ends up on the boat.
But if everyone was going to end up on the boat, like, why did they all have to do it so separately and weird? I don't know. It seemed pretty easy to get on the boat, is all I'm saying.
Everybody ends up on the boat, and they fight here and there, and they fight, and then Ryan Reynolds has magnets which suck people to one side of the boat, and then he clicks it the other way, then they go to the other side of the boat, and the knives stick in them. It was funny.
I thought this was really cool.
If that had been like the whole plan, you'd have been like, okay. And then at a certain point,
it's a cool, very cool visual move. It's very different from like the rest of the like. I liked it. Yeah. I thought it was cool. It tied in his magnet backstory for some reason. I liked it. I thought it was cool. And yeah, like knives are stabbing into people. It's cool. It's cool to watch. It's a good scene. You can watch it on YouTube independently of the movie. I would recommend that instead of the movie.
And then I don't know. They just fight a bunch.
Yeah, they fight a bunch and then they win.
And then they get the dictator to get in a boat, and then they send a helicopter out there to pick up the dictator, and then the dictator goes up on the helicopter, and then all our guys are on the helicopter. Somehow.
How did they do it? They're magicians. It doesn't make any sense. They're literally on the boat, and they're like, he's leaving. He leaves. They're still on the boat. And then all of a sudden they're on the helicopter picking him up. No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
And then they throw him to the rabid people, and the people ostensibly tear him limb from limb.
Apart.
And
it's pretty dark.
And Michael Bay feels good about America.
America, fuck yeah.
So then at the end, we get the coda where Ryan Reynolds goes to meet his hot girl that he slept with one night because he's in love with her, and she has a kid.
You think that's it?
What else would it be?
Know. Dan, I don't know. He has her picture in the plane. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's the dumbest solution. Those are the. If you look at the pieces of information and you add them up with the dumbest solution, the dumbest solution is this is somehow 4 years after she's still single, and he put a baby in her, and now he has a child.
Yeah. So then he leaves them money, right? Is that what happens? Because I'm pretty sure he leaves like a letter in a lockbox.
Oh, if he ever dies, then all the money goes to the kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, that's not going to help the kid now. You know what I mean? Just give him $1 million. If you're a billionaire, give him $1 million.
I'm sure he's going to give the girl money.
I don't know. I didn't see it, Dan. If I didn't see it, it doesn't exist.
CIA and Hitman go and meet the mother, and the brother is being a good leader the brother is being a really good leader in the military dictatorship.
Yeah.
Wow, that seems like an equation that's going to work out perfectly. Because if you look at the history of inserting people into military dictatorships, it always works out perfectly.
Works.
Yes, it
usually works really good. That's why we keep doing it, right? That's the whole plan.
And then Sniper is no longer suicidal. He's like happy now. He's like, oh, happy.
It's a weird. So he pops the bullet, which is always one of my favorite things. They pop the bullet and catch it. I love that move. I feel like I need to learn how to do it. He throws the gun and then he holds up the bullet and he just starts laughing and smiling. And I was like, that's a weird reaction to deciding not to kill you. I mean, I'm happy you're not doing it.
Yeah.
But it's a weird reaction. I don't totally understand what's going through your head.
I'm pretty sure I was playing Marvel Snap when all of this was happening. So I missed.
How's that going? Where are you?
Having more fun than watching this movie.
So I picked it up again. I don't know if I told you that. But I float between 48 and 52.
Sure.
I can't break the 52 plane, but I just ride that wave for the whole month pretty much. And I don't get better. That's a problem for me. I want to get better.
Do you watch The Good Players and play good decks?
No. I refuse to watch other people play video games because I hate it.
Oh.
I want people to watch me play video games, Dan.
I'm at level 89.
Oh my God. What kind of deck are you playing?
I play a bunch of different decks. I play a Loki deck. I've been playing a Kitty Pryde Elsa Bloodstone. I love Kitty Pryde Elsa. Kitty Pryde's like, I love Kitty Pryde so much.
I don't have the Elsa Bloodstone.
Wait, it was a monthly card, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I haven't always been playing, Dan.
You can't miss a month.
Yeah.
If you miss a month, you're a dead man.
I think I've missed a couple of months, to be honest with you. There's also like a Hulk now that's
High Evolutionary Hulk.
Okay, and what does that mean?
Well, if you play high evolutionary in your starting deck, all of your things that have no powers gain powers.
What the fuck? Okay. See, this is something I didn't know. Someone dropped a Hulk on me that was like 1 billion power because it's like if you don't play a card, you get X power. I was like, what? That's not Hulk. What's happening right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've been playing.
All right, so I'll have to find that.
I've been playing Annihilus. I want to get Werewolf.
And that's the guy that like kills all your stuff unless it's a negative card and then sends it to the other side or something.
He's cool.
There's a lot of stuff that they brought. It might be above my head now. If you miss some time, it's hard to catch up.
Well, you can always just play Loki. Loki's always playable.
I put Loki in my collector deck, which
the place
helps.
to put a Loki.
Yeah, it's nice. It's fun.
Okay, anyhow. So that's that movie.
Yeah, sorry.
Tony, tell us about something you like this week.
Yes, sir. So it is holiday season.
Yes,
it is upon us.
Yes, it is.
It's post Thanksgiving even, and so we've been watching many Christmas movies. And I believe this was 2022. I'm going to check just to make sure. Oh no, 2023. This might be a brand new one this year. It's got one of my lovers, Robbie Amell, the younger brother of Stephen, or the cousin of Stephen Amell. Beautiful family. Unbelievable. And Robbie's like the younger, boyish, charming version, and Stephen Amell's like the gruff man. Like, it's two different camps.
Sure.
If you like Stephen, you might not like Robbie, but
might not.
Anyhow, love them both. He's got a new movie called Xmas, EXMAS. It's about his ex-fiance and him going home for Christmas. It was great. It's really weird. It's like a screwball comedy mixed with a rom-com, mixed with a Christmas movie. Unsuccessful at all three, and yet together, very enjoyable.
Whew.
Give it a shot. It's on Prime, Amazon Prime for free. Go do it.
Yeah. We just started watching the Squid Game reality show.
I was going to bring that up. That's so great. Now, what do you think?
Oh, I love it. Love it.
They're getting sued, Dan.
By who? By Squid Game?
The contestants are suing Netflix for a group of them got hypothermia and what are these things? They fire in my brain, nerve damage. From being in the cold and not moving. I don't watch it. I don't know what challenge this is on, but apparently one of them like fucked up a bunch of people and they're suing Netflix.
Yeah, it's worth a try.
It is worth a try. They got a lot of money. I'll sue them right now.
I don't know. I super enjoy it. Just watching the challenges happen.
I don't know.
People break down. People like lose their minds. It's very funny. It's
very funny to watch these people go through real trauma.
People super review bombed it for a while, and it was like at 18%, and now I checked it today. It's at 88%. All these single line comments from Spanish speaking people.
Interesting. Okay, great.
But like some of the people like review bombing it. One of the guys, a bunch of them think that it's not good because they expect it to be like the second season of the show. They can't figure out why it's different. This seems like a reality show. And then another guy was like, no one dies. He's angry because they don't actually kill the people in the show.
He wants real people to die for his reality TV shows?
Yes, he does.
All right. Well, people got real problems out there. It's a very scary world we live in, Dan.
If you're going to win $4 million, you're going to have to die for it.
People better be dead. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. What a treat.
Okay, Tony, what movie you got for us next week?
All right, Dan. I am taking a Hail Mary, if you're familiar with the term.
Sure.
What we're going to watch is a movie that is currently, it's brand new.
Oh.
It currently has an audience rating of 95%, but a critic score of 44%.
Okay.
And I personally have never found this group of people enjoyable. And so we need to see this movie and judge for ourselves. is, of course, please don't destroy the treasure of Foggy Mountain.
Okay. Well, okay. Yeah. Sounds good. I watched the trailer. I mean, I find those guys okay. They're Nepo babies.
I do, and I'm going to try to not judge on that. I hate everything that I've ever seen them do on Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
My brother, obsessed with them, loves them, thinks they're great. And we spent a lot of like early pandemic, him sending me their videos over and over. Can't stand these guys. I don't think they're funny. I don't think they're talented. And I want to see who gave them a movie and what it turned out to be, And I feel like I'm in the minority. I feel like people seem to really enjoy them. I just find them to be like a bad version of Lonely Island. I don't know.
I thought I watched the trailer with my wife and I thought we enjoyed it. And then I sat down and really watched it for sure. And I thought the trailer was pretty terrible.
Okay. I mean, I think it looks really bad. So we'll find out.
95%. So somebody likes it.
95% audience score. Yeah. Either way, that feels too high.
Maybe it's one of those movies that's just hitting the people that want it. And so the people that hate it just aren't spending the time to hate it.
It dropped on Peacock, which I think is the least widely adopted streaming service. I don't know why. It's my favorite.
It's the safest place to get something not review bombed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see. I just need to know.
Okay. No, I like that one. That's a good one. Because we are the ultimate arbiters of with what comedy is good and bad.
Comedy, yeah. A guy that failed out of the Groundlings miserably.
Yeah, and a guy that's basically the best comedy writer that's ever lived.
That's got to be the other side. It's not me. Which side are you on in my box? Maybe it's this side. I don't know. 2 bucks. Yeah. I'll do both and I'll cut it together.
This guy.
Feel like I'm John Travolta. Oh.
This guy.
Oh, a little Saturday Night Fever.
This was a fun one. If you like the show, God damn, we're supposed to put that up.
Dan. It's too late. It's too late. Nobody's here.
Give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, or subscribe, and we'll be back next week talking about the Lonely Island guys.
No, the please don't destroy guys. Don't confuse them. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, watch him!